October 14, 2014 from AT&T Park in San Francisco, California. It was Game 3 of the NLCS between the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants. Tim Hudson was on the mound for the Giants and John Lackey was on the mound for the Cardinals. Hudson set down the Cardinals in order in the top of the first. He struck out the first batter of the game, Matt Carpenter, and then got Jay and Holliday both out. So and then in the bottom of the first, Blanco would get out, and then Panic got out. Now with 2 outs, Buster Posey got a single off of Lackey. Then Pablo Sandoval singled, and now Hunter Pence came up to the plate with 2 on and 2 out, and he ended up getting a double, which ended up bringing Posey across the plate and moving Sandoval to third, and it was now 1-0 Giants over the Cardinals. Brandon Belt was then given first base, and Travis Ishikawa came to the plate with the bases juiced, and he hit a double to deep right, and that scored all 3 runners, and it was now 4-0 San Francisco over St. Louis. Crawford then got out, and the inning came to a close, but not after the Giants scored 4 runs in the first inning. Now in the top of the second, Tim Hudson got the first 2 batters out, Adams and Peralta, but then Kolten Wong got a double, so now we had 2 on and a man in scoring position, but Przynski would strike out, and we would head to the bottom of the second, where John Lackey would set down the Giants in order. He actually struck out Blanco, the second batter he faced in the inning. So after having let up 4 runs in the first, Lackey sets down the Giants in order in the bottom of the second, and after 2 it was 4-0 Giants over Cards. Now in the top of the third, Hudson would set down the Cardinals in order. He actually struck out Lackey, who was the second batter he faced. And now in the bottom of the third, Lackey would end up getting Posey out, but then he hit Pablo Sandoval. Then he got Pence and Belt out. So after 3, it was still 4-0 San Francisco over St. Louis. Then in the top of the fourth, Hudson let off a leadoff single to John Jay, and then Matt Holliday got a single. So now we had 2 on, no out. Adams got out, and Peralta struck out. Now Kolten Wong came to the plate with 2 on, 2 out, and he hit a triple, and that brought in John Jay and Matt Holliday, as it was now 4-2 as the Cardinals cut the Giants' lead in half. Przynski would end up getting out, and Wong ended up stranded 90 feet from home, but not after the Cardinals got 2 runs in the top of the fourth. John Lackey then was able to get the first 2 Giants down, but then Hudson, the pitcher, actually got a single, but Blanco got out to end the fourth. So after 4, it was 4-2 San Francisco over St. Louis. Then in the top of the fifth, Hudson would strike out Grichuk, and then he actually hit John Lackey. So after he got a hit off of John Lackey, he hit John Lackey. So now Carpenter came to the plate, and he hit into a double play, and so we headed to the bottom of the fifth, and Lackey would end up getting the Giants out in order as he set down Panic, Posey, and Sandoval. So now in the top of the sixth, with it still 4-2, John Jay led off the sixth with the single, and then Holliday and Adams grounded out. But now Peralta came to the plate with John Jay on third as he had been moved over on the grounders, and he ended up getting a single. His Peralta's single brought John Jay in to score, and it was now 4-3 Giants over the Cardinals. Wong would then get out, and we headed to the bottom of the sixth. So now in the bottom of the sixth, Lackey would strike out Pence and Belt, and then he got Ishikawa to ground out as he set down the Giants in order. And so that would be it after 6, as it was still a 1-run game with the score 4-3 San Francisco over St. Louis. So now in the top of the 7th, Hudson would get Przynski out, and then Grichuk came to the plate, and he took Hudson deep as he hit the home run to tie this game up at 4 runs apiece here in the top of the 7th. Descalso would come in and pinch hit for Lackey, and Affeldt would end up coming in to relieve Hudson. But then Descalso ended up grounding out. Now Carpenter came to the plate, and he got a single, but John Jay grounded out, and so we were headed to the bottom of the 7th. Marco Gonzalez was now on the mound as he took over the pitching duties here in the bottom of the 7th, and he would set down the Giants in order, and he actually struck out Blanco to bring the 7th to a close as we were now still tied up at 4 runs apiece. Then in the top of the 8th, Jeremy Affeldt ended up setting down the Cards in order. We were headed to the bottom of the 8th, and now Pat Nessick would come into pitch as he was brought into the game by St. Louis, and he would end up getting the Giants to lay down an order. So now we're headed to the 9th, and Santiago Casilla was on the mound for the Giants, and he got the Cardinals to go down in order, and he actually got Grichuk to strike out as we were headed to the bottom of the 9th. And Seth Manis was on the mound now for the Cardinals, and he would end up getting Pence and Belt out, and then Morse ended up pinch hitting for Casilla, and he would end up grounding out. So we were headed to extra innings with this game still tied up at 4 runs apiece. Then in the top of the 10th, Javier Lopez would come out to pitch for San Francisco, and Boris would end up pinch hitting for Manis, but he got out, and then Carpenter struck out. John Jay then got a single, and Sergio Romo was brought into the game to pitch, and he would end up getting Holliday out. And so now we are headed to the bottom of the 10th. Randy Choate was on the mound for St. Louis, and he ended up walking Brandon Crawford and then letting up a single to Perez. So now he had 2 runners on and no outs. Gregor Blanco came to the plate. He laid down the bunt, and Choate ended up overthrowing first base, as it would have been safe anyways from the looks of it. But with the error, we actually ended up having Crawford come across the plate, and this game was over as the San Francisco Giants take Game 3 on the air off of the bunt by Blanco. So they win with a walk-off bunt as Brandon Crawford came across home, and pandemonium ensued as everybody at the stadium was going absolutely wild. Now the Giants lead the series at 2-1. So quite the exciting finish as San Francisco wins in the walk-off, the bottom of the 10th on an error off a bunt, with the final score 5-4. So San Francisco now up 2-1. And in this game, Sergio Romo ended up getting the win. Randy Choate got the loss. The starters in this game, Lackey and Hudson. Lackey lasted 6 innings. He let up 4 earned runs and 5 hits, a walk, and had 3 strikeouts. Hudson lasted 6 1/3 innings, let up 4 earned runs, 7 hits, didn't have a walk, but he struck out 5 and let up a home run. Of course, that home run they let up was to Grichuk, the lone home run in this game. Wong had a double and a triple, and Hunter Pence and Ishikawa each had doubles for the Giants. And in this game for San Francisco, Hunter Pence was 1 for 4 with the RBI. Travis Ishikawa was 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs. We had that base clearing double. And they ended up winning on an unearned run on the air. Kolten Wong was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs, and Jhonny Peralta was 1 for 4 with an RBI, as was Grichuk 1 for 4 with an RBI. So in the end, the Giants pull it off with that bunt by Blanco, the error at first base is the overthrow by Choate, and the Giants win and an error off the bunt and a walk-off in the bottom of the 10th, and they now lead the series 2-1. And the final score, San Francisco 5, St. Louis 4 in the bottom of the 10th.